How's it going out there, YouTube land and all social media lands? Welcome to an all-new video. This video we're going to be talking about a newer movie that just came out a couple weeks ago and is a retelling prequel to a character that has already been pretty well established over the last 50 years. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, where I do some pretty cool stuff, so definitely check that out. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, I'm going to be reviewing a new film that just came out a couple weeks ago, and is a prequel retelling of an already pretty well-established character over the last 50 years. And that, of course, is a film called Wonka. Yeah, Wonka. Yeah. So Wonka is a new take on the Charlie and Chocolate Factory story from Roald Dahl. And this is kind of more of a prequel to that story, kind of giving you an idea of how, pretty much Willy Wonka becomes Willy Wonka is kind of what it's kind of about. But this film is very surprisingly good. And overall, I was really surprised at how fun it was. And I wasn't too sure at first if I was going to like it. And after watching it, I was kind of like, this is actually pretty good. I was really shocked. No shock that, that it was good because of the directing and the actors and stuff like that. Just from the trailer at first, I was kind of like, it looks kind of okay, but I'm not sure 100%, but the cast in this film and everything about this film was just really enjoyable, really fun, and just super entertaining. So this film happens to be directed by a pretty well-known English director who has directed a lot of things over the years, a lot of big things, and is just a pretty decent director. And that, of course, is the director known as Mr. Paul King. Oh yeah, Paul King, woo, Paul King, yeah! So Paul King, you might recognize from a few things over the years, Paddington 2, to many other things over the years, and is just a really well-known British, director. And pretty much Paul always does a really good job with anything I've seen him do, and I always enjoy pretty much what he does because he always makes it very wholesome and always makes it very basic. And doesn't add too much stuff and just gives us entertainment. And that's what I was, wondering and looking for when I went to see Wonka. And I think that Paul did a great job of bringing that to life and giving us just what I was looking for, a very entertaining film. And also it being, kind of a prequel film, where we're going off of stuff that hasn't been written yet, and it was never written by Roald Dahl, giving you kind of a history of how Wonka becomes Willy Wonka, and, I thought that, they had a lot of liberties to work with, and I think Paul did a great job of giving us a really cohesive kind of origin story. And giving us a great idea to who, Willy Wonka was before he becomes Willy Wonka. And kind of the struggles he went through and kind of what he dealt with. And, and also it was great to see that Paul did a great job of giving us something different than what we had seen in the previous Willy Wonka films, especially from the Gene Wilder one in 1971 and then the Johnny Depp one in 2005. So it was nice to see a very different contrast and giving us this really thing, and I think Paul did a great job giving us that and giving us a really fun film. Now, if you haven't seen anything else Paul King has directed, definitely check out this great film that I think is so fun, so entertaining, and also based off a book that I really loved growing up. And I just really enjoyed what he did with this film because it just was so fun. And then, of course, the film called Paddington. Yeah, Paddington, yeah. Such a great film, really well done, and Paul did a great job of bringing Paddington from the pages to life. His love for marmalade, his outfit and everything, he looked exactly like he did in the book itself. And I just really enjoyed what he did with it and gave us kind of that very Winnie the Pooh feel type of film. And I just enjoyed all the great humor and comedy that was in it. And it was a lot of British humor too. And I enjoyed that. And I thought it had a really fun flair to the film. And I just thought that Paul did a great job of getting great CGI, getting great, cinematography, great, production staff, great writing. It just all worked really well together and gave us a really solid, live action film version of who Paddington the Bear was. And I just thought it was really fantastic. And I thought Paul just did a really great job. If you haven't seen anything else Paul has directed, definitely check out Paddington and Paddington 2. He did an amazing and phenomenal job with those films. But I really enjoyed what he did with this film. I thought he did a really great job and gave us a really solid, fun kind of film. If you haven't seen Wonka yet, definitely go check it out for Paul King's directing. He did a really superb job. So this movie has a really great cast. I mean, a lot of great honorable mentions. Keegan-Michael Key stars in it. He is absolutely freaking hilarious. We have quite a few others that are, British actors that have been in several films over the years that are great comedians and so forth, and are just really great. And, of course, Olivia Colman in this film was absolutely freaking hilarious, too, as well. She was great and really enjoyable in it. And like I said, this movie just had a really great cast. And I was really impressed with the cast and everything they did in the film. And they all did a great job. And all of them did a really good job of portraying their characters and giving us a very well-rounded and very detailed characterization of their characters that made it even more enjoyable. And I just really enjoyed that. Now, to start us off is none other than Wonka himself in the film, Mr. Timothy Chalamet! Oh yeah! Timothy Chalamet! Woo! Timothy Chalamet! So Timothy Chalamet, of course, you might recognize from, of course, several things over the years. Dune, of course. Dune Part 2 coming out in March of next year. And several other films over the years that he's really well known for. And, he is considered a really amazing talent. And I agree with that. I think he's a really great talent. And he's got one of those charismatic acting abilities. You just can't help but like him. And I swear, everything I've seen him in, I've always enjoyed him and always liked him. And just automatically, wanted to see more of him in the film because there's just something about him that's very magnetism. It's very magnetizing. And I just really enjoy him. And I think he's a great actor. And I think that he did a really good job playing Wonka. I really liked his iteration. I liked that he, took, different quotes from different Wonkas and didn't try to imitate them, but put his own snap on them and on his own take. And I really enjoyed that. He didn't imitate anyone and he had a really great kind of his own Wonka impersonation. And I thought that he did a really good job. I like that he was kind of like a little zany, but at the same time very level-headed and a little naive. And at the same time, he kind of wanted to be this magician at the same time as being a chocolatier, which was an totally interesting type of, storyline, which I thought Timothy did a great job of playing out. Really fun and really great performance by Timothy. Now, if you haven't seen Timothy Chalamet in anything else, definitely check him out in a great film that came out in 2019, and is really the first film that really got me into his acting and saw his acting ability. And then, of course, the film called Little Women. Yeah! Little Women, yeah. This is a great take on Little Women. It's a great remake. I think one of Greta Gerwig's best directed films. And I absolutely loved Timothy Chalamet in this film. He was so freaking awesome. I loved him as his character. His total characterization and how he acted towards everyone else in the film was on point and always fun and enjoyable. And I really enjoyed him and Saoirse Ronan's chemistry in the film, and I thought it worked really well. And Timothy just did a really good job of blending that and bringing that together, give us a very cohesive, characterization and group of characters and stuff like that. He just was so awesome in that film. If you haven't seen him in anything else, definitely check him out in Little Women. He was really fantastic in it, really superb. And like I said, I just really enjoyed him as Wonka. I thought he did a great job. I really appreciated his take. And I just thought overall he did a really good job. If you haven't seen Timothy anything recently, definitely go check him out on Wonka now. He was very enjoyable in it. The next actor I'd like to talk about that was in this film is none other than another British comedic actor that I have loved for many, many years. And it just is always awesome to watch him. And that, of course, is Mr. Hugh Grant. Oh, yeah, Hugh Grant. Woo, Hugh Grant, yeah. Absolutely love Hugh Grant, from 9 months to Extreme Measures to uh, 4 weddings and a funeral. I mean, he has pretty much been in a whole bunch of things over the years, and is just an awesome comedic actor. And I absolutely love him in anything he does. He always does a great job, plays his characters to the T, and is always just really enjoyable. Now, of course, in this film, he plays a CGI character, which was absolutely freaking, I think, fantastic. I love the whole take on his character in this film. I love that they have him playing the Oompa Loompa, and that it was just a freaking perfection of a role to give him. And I thought it was a great way of bringing in the Oompa Loompas in a totally different fashion and light, which I thought was super funny. And I thought Hugh Grant did a great job of portraying this and giving this a really solid performance that, you know, was motion captured, but his expressions and everything as the Oompa Loompa were always hilarious and funny, and just how he presented himself was awesome too as well. And they did a great job with the CGI, making the Oompa Loompa and stuff like that. I thought that they did a great job of taking his motion capture and his face and everything and superimposing it on the, you know, CGI body was perfect, and it looked so flawless. It just was so cool. Absolutely loved it. I thought Hugh did a great job of portraying this. And even though he said himself in interviews recently that he hated portraying the character, he did a phenomenal job. I don't care. He did great. He was so great as the Oompa Loompa. And his whole, like, persona of, like, him getting even to get his 3 coffee beans back, or chocolate beans, was absolutely freaking hilarious, too. And he did such a great job of bringing that to life. Now, if you haven't seen anything else Hugh Grant has been in, definitely check out a great film that he did a couple years ago. That is a phenomenal film, and he was so awesome in it. And that, of course, is a film called The Gentleman. Yeah, The Gentleman. Oh my god, this is such a great film. And Hugh is so awesome in the film. I absolutely love this character. He plays like a very, you know, weaselly bad guy type of character, trying to weasel his way in type of deal, and he's so freaking funny in it, and he works so well with McConaughey and Farrell and so many great actors in that film. And I just appreciated what he brought to that character and playing this really kind of slimy character and with class. And at the same time, you want to hate him, but you love him at the same time, and that just shows how great of an actor Hugh is at knowing how to really personify his characters, and I thought he did a really good job with that. If you haven't seen Hugh Grant in anything recently, definitely check him out in The Gentleman. He was really fantastic. And like I said, his portrayal of an Oompa Loompa was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Great, great, great. I hope he plays it again because it was so freaking fun. If you haven't seen Hugh Grant recently, definitely go check him out on Wonka now. He was awesome as an Oompa Loompa. So that brings me to the last actor I'd like to talk about in this film. And this is another great British comedian that absolutely is so freaking awesome. Everything he does is so cool, and he is just a great actor, comedian guy. And that, of course, is Mr. Rowan Atkinson. Oh yeah, Rowan Atkinson, woo, Rowan, yeah! So Rowan Atkinson, oh my gosh, Mr. Bean, Blackadder, he is just freaking awesome. Absolutely love him in anything he does. I love how he plays these bumbling fools. He's always on point, you know, from his, you know, character in Scooby-Doo 1 live-action film, to his Blackadders, to, you know, to Mr. Bean. You know, pretty much any role he's in, he's just really awesome and always plays it really well. And I always enjoy him, and I think that he has a great sense of humor. I love how he's dry. Same time, he has some of the greatest lines in some British comedy. And he is just a great comedian. And it was great to see him in this movie as this, like, clergyman that's working with the bad guys, which was absolutely hilarious. And just some of his scenes were so funny and so well constructed. And he just was on par. So freaking hilarious. And I thought he was just a really great addition to this film. And he just played the character really well. And, like, some of his lines are just, like, so stinking funny. And how he delivers them is just really fantastic. Now, if you haven't seen Rowan Atkinson in anything before, or just want to see something else with him, definitely check out a great film that came out in 2001 called Rat Race. Yeah! Rat Race, yeah, such a great film, and Rowan is in this film, and he's so freaking hilarious. He plays like a foreigner, and he's a part of this Rat Race, which basically is like a remake of a Mad Mad World, and just with newer celebrities, and he was freaking hilarious as Mr. Panini, and he's so freaking hilarious, and just like he plays a character with narcolepsy, and it's on point. Like, he does it so well and so fantastic, and his comedy is superb in this film, and absolutely just, made that movie so enjoyable. If you haven't seen Rowan in anything, definitely go check him out in Rat Race. He did a great job in that film. But overall, I really enjoyed him, and Wonka, he was a great addition along with all the other great comedians and actors and actresses in this film. He just was so fun in this film. Absolutely fantastic in this. Superb, amazing, awesome. Definitely check out Rowan Atkinson. If you haven't seen him in anything recently, go check it out in Wonka. He was freaking awesome. So what is Wonka about? As I said before, basically the premise is basically a prequel to Wonka's story, basically an origin story, showing us how he becomes the well-known chocolatier Willy Wonka, and kind of his struggles he goes through to get to where he becomes Willy Wonka instead of just being Wonka. And it's an absolutely great film. Them having to deal with the craziness that they have to deal with in this film. So many great scenes throughout this film, especially Keegan-Michael Key's character, whereas the movie progresses, he gets fatter and fatter, which was absolutely a great gag throughout this whole entire film. But some of the scenes with Timothée Chalamet and, like, doing his dancing and his singing and, like, doing his magic tricks and stuff were so cool and awesome. And I just really enjoyed just everything about it in these scenes. It just was so much entertaining and fun. And there's some great scenes where people are flying around from eating different candy and all kinds of great stuff going on throughout this movie that were just so fun and entertaining. If you haven't seen Wonka yet, highly recommend. Go check it out in theaters now. Really fun film. Giant 10 Golden movie box up. Definitely something I'll add to the collection with the other Willy Wonka films. And of course, this movie is just fantastic. You gotta see it. Go check it out now. In theaters now. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you have been before, don't forget to check out my older new videos you might not have seen one yet. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here, you guys are rocking it. Thank you all to the new subscribers, all to the old subscribers. You guys are cool. But if you really want to show support for the channel, definitely go check out my Patreon page, where you get all kinds of extra accoutrements by becoming a member there, where you help support this channel, get better equipment, so that I can make even better videos for you guys. So I appreciate it, guys. As always, catch you in the next one.